Good morning, boys. Today we are going to solve those type of equations which have an unknown on both sides. For example, it has a on both sides or b on both sides, okay? Now, in this case, it is important that when we have an unknown on both sides, we need to organize the equation first. What does this mean? What does organize the equation first means? It means that we must bring letter terms on one side of the equation and number terms on the other. Letter terms are those terms which have a letter, 2x, x. Okay, number terms are the numbers on their own. For example, 5, -10, and so on. Now, I'm going to give you a hint. It would be better to start removing the smallest letter term first. For example, if you have A and 3A, the smallest one would be A. And so to end up, it's important to do this. It's easier to do this so that we end up with a positive unknown, not a negative unknown, because when we are asked to solve, we are not asked to find the value of a negative A, but the value of A, okay? So it's important to end up with a positive unknown, and to end up with a positive unknown, it's better to start removing the smallest letter term first. Obviously, if it's the smallest letter term is an A, to remove it we must subtract A from both sides. If the smallest letter term is a 2B, we must remove the 2B by subtracting 2B from both sides, okay? Now, let's work the following few examples. And we are asked to solve. We are asked to solve the first example is 3a plus 4 is equal to a plus 8. As you can see, we have a letter term on both sides. We have 3a on the left and a on the right. We have a number term also on both sides. We have a plus 4 on the left and a plus 8 on the right. So we must organize that equation first. And to organize that equation, we said that we must bring letter terms on one side and number terms on the other. As a hint, we said that it's better to start from the smallest letter term and remove that first. Now the letter terms are 3a and a. The smallest one is a. So we must remove that a first. To remove that a, we must subtract both sides by a. So I subtract the left hand side by a and subtract the right hand side by a. In that case, we end up with 3a minus a, it's 2a plus 4 equals, and on the right hand side we have a minus a, which is equal to 0, but then we have the number term plus 8, or 8. So now our equation is 2a plus 4 is equal to 8. Now we have an equation with two mathematical operations just like yesterday. Okay, so now we remove the number term first. To organize, boys, we need letter terms on one side, number terms on the other. So on the left, there's still a mixture, all right, of letter terms and number terms. So let's remove that number term. We must remove the plus 4. To remove that plus 4, let's use another color. To remove that plus 4, we must subtract both sides by 4. So minus 4 on the left and minus 4 on the right. On the left hand side, we end up with 2a equals. On the right hand side, we end up with 8 minus 4, that is equal to 4. Now 2a means 2 times a is equal to 4. Okay, to remove the multiplication by 2, we divide both sides by 2. I cancel the 2 with the 2. I cancel the 2 with the 4. So A, the unknown value, is equal to 2 division by 1, it is 2. To check, boys, we substitute A by 2 in the equation. So wherever there is an A, we write down a 2. So 3A means 3 times 2 plus 4 equals, on the right hand side, instead of A, I write down a 2 plus 8. 3 times 2 first, so that is 6 plus 4 equals, on the other side, 2 plus 8, it's 10. On the left hand side, 6 plus 4 is 10 also, so 10 is equal to 10. Since the left hand side is equal to the right hand side, then our answer is correct. Okay? Let's work the second example, boys. 3b plus 2 is equal to negative b plus 6. We must organize. We must bring letter terms on one side, number terms on the other. And it's better to start with the smallest letter term. We have a 3b and we have a negative b. The smallest one is the negative b. The opposite of negative b is positive b on the left and positive b on the right. Now, we end up with, on the left, we end up with 3b plus b, it's 4b, plus 2 is equal to 6. Now, that is an equation which is similar to yesterday's lesson. 4b plus 2 is equal to 6. Now, we need to organize further. We have the letter term on the left-hand side, but we must bring the number terms on the right-hand side. So we must remove the positive 2. The opposite of positive 2 or plus 2 is minus 2 from both sides. If we work that out, we end up with 4b is equal to 6 minus 2, it is equal to 4. Now 4b means 4 times b. The opposite of times 4 is division by 4 on the left and division by 4 on the right. I cancel the 4 with the 4 on the left. I cancel the 4 with the 4 on the right. So I end up with b is equal to 1 division by 1, it's 1. Okay? Let's check, boys. To check, we substitute b by 1 in the equation. Wherever there is a b, we write down a 1. So 3b means 3 times 1 plus 2 equals negative b, and we are going to write negative 1 plus 6. Let's work them out. 3 times 1, it's 3 plus 2. Now, on the other side, negative 1 plus 6, I owe €1, but I have 6 in my pocket. I give that €1 back. I still have €5 in my pocket, so it's plus 5 or 5. On the left-hand side, 3 plus 2 is 5. So since the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side, my answer is correct. So that is example 2. Example 3 now. Now, in example 3, I have 4 minus a is equal to 6 minus 3a. We have number terms on both sides, letter terms also on both sides. We must organize letter terms on one side, number terms on the other. Now, boys, letter terms, as letter terms, we have negative 1a, because that means negative 1a, and negative 3a. The smallest, so we have a -1 and a -3. The smallest, -3, is smaller than -1. So the smallest is -3a. To remove that -3a, I have to do the opposite. So I must add both sides by 3a. So plus 3a on the left and plus 3a on the right. So the equation now becomes 4 3a minus 1a, it's plus 2a equals, on the right hand side I end up with a 6 because -3a plus 3a, it's a 0. 0 plus 6, it's 6. Now, on the left hand side I have a letter term, the 2a, but I have a number term also, the plus 4. It's a plus 4. To remove that plus 4, okay, I have to subtract 4 from each side. The equation now becomes 4 minus 4, it's 0. 0 plus 2a, it's a 2a, is equal to 6 minus 4 is equal to 2. Now 2a means 2 times a is equal to 2. Now, to remove that times 2, we must divide both sides by 2. I can cancel the 2 with the 2 on the left hand side. And I can cancel the 2 with the 2 on the right hand side. So a is equal to 1. 1 division by 1, it's 1. Let's check. I substitute a with 1 wherever there is an a. So on the left hand side I have 4 minus a. So I'm going to write 4 minus 1 equals. On the right hand side I have 6 minus 3a, 3 times a. So I'm going to write 6 minus 3 times 1. On the left hand side, 4 minus 1, it's equal to 3. On the right hand side, I'm going to work the multiplication first by BIDMAS rules. 6 negative times a positive is equal to negative. 3 times 1, it's 3. On the left hand side, it's 3. 6 minus 3 on the right hand side is equal to 3. Since the left hand side is equal to the right hand side, then my answer is correct. So that's example 3. Let's work now example 4. Now, example 4 is 4 minus c is equal to 7 plus 2c minus 3. I need you to look at the right hand side of the equation. I have 7, positive 7, and I have a minus 3. I have two number terms on the right hand side of the equation, which I can collect. Remember that I can collect like terms. So let's collect them, boys, first. 4 minus c, there's nothing to collect on the left hand side, is equal to. Now, 7 minus 3, I'm going to collect the number terms. 7 minus 3 is equal to 4 plus 2c. So now we have an equation just like the previous 3. Now, we must organize that equation by arranging the letter terms on one side and the number terms on the other. I also need to start. It's better to start from the smallest letter term. Now, I have a negative c and I have a positive 2c. The smallest one is the negative c. To remove the negative c, I need to add both sides by a c. Now, On the left-hand side becomes 4 minus c plus c. It's 4 equals. On the right-hand side, 4 plus 2c plus c, it is 4 plus 3c. Now, I need to organize further. I need to remove that positive 4 from the right-hand side to end up with a letter term over there. To remove that positive 4, I need to subtract 4 from both sides. Now, my equation becomes 4 minus 4. It's a 0 on the left-hand side, whereas on the right-hand side, I remain with a 3c. 3c means 3 times c equals, on the left-hand side, there is a 0. To remove the times 3, we need to divide both sides by 3. Now, I can cancel the 3 with the 3 on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, 0 division by 3 is equal to 0. So 0 is equal to c. Or c is equal to 0. Now, when the answer becomes a 0, it's the easiest answer you can use to check. Because now it's very easy. Check. Wherever I have a c, I need to write a 0 now. So 4 minus c becomes 4 minus 0 is equal to 7 plus 2c, so 2 times 0 minus 3. On the left-hand side, 4 minus 0 is 4. Is equal to, on the right-hand side, 2 times 0 is 0. So I have 7 plus 0 minus 3, which is 7 minus 3, it is 7 minus 3, it is a 4. Since the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side, then my answer is correct. Those are the examples I'm going to do for today, boys. Your homework is very similar to these 4 examples, okay? Download your homework from Clicks. Do all your working, because now you have the working is a bit longer than yesterday's, okay? It's very important to do the working step by step, and if possible, use colors like I did, boys, to understand what needs to be done, okay? And then upload your homework again on Clicks. So that's all for today, boys. Good day and take care.